everybody. Welcome into another edition of Talking Fitchburg on this Monday, December 14th, 2020. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Glad you're back with us for another week here at Talking Fitchburg. And a special note, this will be our final week of regular shows for Talking Fitchburg. As we go into the final 2 weeks, starting next week and through the holidays and end of the year, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break with Talking Fitchburg. We'll still be doing the Talking Fitchburg update every day if I start speaking too fast there. And we'll have that going for you for the rest of the year, and looking forward to getting back started next year. All of the staff at Fact TV has been working hard and just keeping busy with everything. So we're looking forward to giving everybody a break here, and we'll be coming back again back in January. Doesn't mean we're not going to be doing work behind the scenes. Let me tell you, we got a lot of work still to be done here at Fact TV, but so you know. And we've got a busy show for you. We'll get you the latest headlines, and today is dedicated all to your property taxes. That's right. They were mailed out on Friday. You should have received them, and the payments have begun at City Hall where they're collecting them. We're going to break it all down for you coming up in just a little bit with our annual tradition here on Fact TV and talking with Miss D. Dodge. That will be coming up two-parter today here on Talking Fitchburg. And since taxes are on the mind of everybody, let's get some of those questions answered right now in the headlines. Frequently asked questions on your taxes. Well, where do I pay my taxes? If you're going to do it in person, you need to know City Hall is still closed. You got to do this by appointment only, and that's due to the Dane County Health Guidelines. You can go to the website, fitchburgwi.gov, click on the Finance Department, taxes, and then you'll be able to register to drop off your payment in person if you need to do so. Otherwise, you can mail your payments via check to 5520 Lacey Road at City Hall in Fitchburg. Do not send cash payments by mail. And online, you may use the paymentservicesnetwork.com. It's a third-party vendor with a convenience fee that will be charged, so keep that in mind. If you're doing it by credit card, it's by percentage. If you're doing it by routing, checking account and routing number, it's only $1. So if you're going to be doing that, you can do that. All this information is online, and the Dropbox is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the foyer of City Hall. What hours can you vote? Well, here we go. Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. by appointment only. You can call 270-4270 and option 6 to get those appointments going. We will be closed on the following days: Thursday, December 24th, Friday, December 25th, Thursday, December 31st at noon, and Friday, January 1st, and then Monday, January 18th. Finance Department will be open on December 31st until noon. For property tax collection, you will only use the Dropbox located in the foyer, 5520 Lacey Road, or mail postmark on December 31st by the date dated that day. 31st. All right, more information is on the website, by the way, fitchburgwi.gov. Holiday Light Tour. We are over 40 now signed up to be a part of this event. And if you haven't already, get yourself signed up. You got till the 16th, just a couple days away. All you got to do is email administration@fitchburgwi.gov with your interest. Your address will be added to the master list in voting ballot. All participating addresses need to be submitted by 8 a.m. on December 16th. And don't forget, the winner, the top voted coolest display, win a gift certificate to the Hop House Brewing Company in Fitchburg, courtesy of the Fitchburg Chamber of Commerce. So if you're interested and you want to deck the halls, got to get yourself signed up and do that. December 19th between 6 and 9 p.m. That's when you'll be viewing the magic. That's the first time I've used that joke, Bamlet, just so you know. Quarantine for people with no symptoms. There was an update with CDC, and I like this graphics. I want to make sure we get this out there for you. Quarantine keeps people who are sick or may not get sick away from healthy people. It is a crucial tool for helping us stop the spread of COVID-19. CDC issued the new recommendations for how long people without symptoms need to be quarantined. And here it is. So quarantine day for 14 days is the safest way, the full 14 days if you want to. What the CDC is saying, 10 days with no testing. So if you're not going to get tested, quarantine for at least 10 days. And then monitor the additional 4 days, 7 days with testing. So quarantine for 7 days, get tested, and on day 6 or 7, and the quarantine until the results come in. If test is negative, watch for symptoms through day 14. So keep that in mind when you're heading out to get tested. More information on CDC's website, and of course, Public Health of Madison in Dane County. Finally, BBB tip here, how to support small businesses during the pandemic this holiday season. So important. We want to share those with you. This year has been especially rough on small businesses. This holiday season, small companies need your support to make it through these uncertain times. Here are BBB's top tips on how everyone can show small businesses some love. By temporarily closing their doors, limiting capacity, and scaling back services, small businesses are helping keep their customers and employees healthy, but the loss of income makes it tougher to cover the ongoing expenses. So we want you to do this. Practical ways to support small businesses. Buy a gift card for a later date. Many small businesses that have had close or reduced services are offering gift certificates at discounted rates. Just look them up on their website. Shop local online. Yeah, local shops and vendors may have closed their doors physically, but many still run online shops. So look them up. You can check them out even on like the Facebook Marketplace and other places. So it's a good way to do it. Look for virtual classes, get takeout or delivery. We've done that a lot with our local businesses around here. Love doing that. Skip the refund and take a rain check. And there's so many more tips there, bbb.org. And we'll share the link for that up on our website, or up on the headlines when we post them. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up our guest segment today, a two-parter. We're talking about your property taxes. But before we do that, here's a look at what meetings we have going on this week.
We scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what?
Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for one of her two appearances every year here on Talking Fitchburg, it's Misty Dodge, Finance Director for the City of Fitchburg. Misty, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm doing good, and I'm going to take all the shots I can while you're on camera here. So get ready for that. No, I'm not. We're here to talk and break down the property tax bills. They've come out on Friday, December 11th, and they'll be in a mailbox near you really soon. And each year, Misty is kind enough to come on and break this down, so you know exactly what everything means. I learn something, she teaches us something, and we all go home happy. So, Misty, before we do get started, is there anything that stands out to you this year? Any new changes, anything like that, or are we pretty standard?
Some of the biggest changes that we've seen has been in the Oregon School District. So we'll talk about the sample tax bill and how much of that is city purposes versus school purposes. All of the school districts have a referendum this year, including a new one for Madison and for the Oregon school districts. So tax bills in general are going up, mostly because of the school district, but there's some other increases as well.
Fantastic. Well, we'll jump right into this. We've got a sample bill here in front of us, and you have numbered each section here for us as we go through it. So number one, your bill number.
Yeah, so the bill number is a great way for you to reference which bill it is that you're trying to pay. So if you're paying by check number, if you could include that bill number in the memo line, or if you're paying online, it'll be based on that bill number there. It's just a shorter number than the parcel number. The only big thing to keep in mind, though, is that number does change every year. So it's a great way to tell us which bill, but make sure you're updating it each year.
Yeah, some people have multiple property bills, so good to note that. And I did not know that number changed every year. Already learning something. All right, number two, assessed value land.
Yeah, so every property in the city is assessed, which is a value that's placed on each individual property by our city assessor. Those assessments are then used to determine how much of the total taxes we need to collect is on each individual tax bill. So that assessed value is important because that's how we're figuring out how much this tax bill is for this particular property.
Is there any reason we do our assessments every year versus some other villages, cities don't always do their assessments each and every year? So any advantages, disadvantages there?
Yeah, so we are what's called a maintenance community. So we look at the sales and all of that every year so that we can stay pretty close to what the market is. You'll see one of the next boxes is the assessment ratio. So we are always right around 1 or 100%. It's interesting. This year we actually flipped. So we are just over 100% this year, where other years we've been just under 100%. So the biggest benefit of doing it that way is it just keeps up with the market and makes sure that the properties are looked at more frequently versus waiting until once every 5 or once every 10 years to do it.
Fantastic. And that leads us up to the estimated fair market land.
Yeah, so to get to that box number 4, you take the assessed value and apply the ratio. So those other years when our ratio was less than 1, the estimated fair market value would be more than the assessed value. This year, because that's flipped, that relationship has flipped as well. So the city assessor doesn't look at the estimated fair market value for every property. That is simply a calculated value based on that ratio.
All right, that's way over my head, but I think it obviously works there. Jumping down here, then, number 5. Sorry, I almost jumped ahead. I always want to do that. Number 5 box here is not assessed value rate.
Net. Yep. So this is
Net.
Actually a very important one. So the tax bill is based on a mill rate. That mill rate is an amount per $1,000 of assessed value. So this particular property is in the Oregon School District. The Oregon's overall tax mill rate is that $20.02 per $1,000 of assessed value. So that number is in that top right corner. You just have to move the decimal points so that it's the per 1,000. And then later on at the bottom of the bill, to get to your tax amount, you would take your assessed value and multiply it by that rate in order to get the amount.
And that probably takes us to big box 6, where everything kind of breaks down for each individual area. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so that top box is kind of this individual property, and then that middle box is the actual amount for each one of the jurisdictions that is collected for this bill. So the state of Wisconsin is 0. That is correct. The state is funded through ways other than through property taxes for the last few years now. So that is 0. We also collect property taxes for Dane County, the city of Fitchburg, each one of the school districts, depending on which district the property is in, and then Madison Tech College. So the city of Fitchburg is collecting taxes for all of those jurisdictions. And if you look, the city of Fitchburg is generally right around 1/3 of the total bill that's collected.
Yeah, you even pointed it out there for us, so we know exactly what we're looking at there. So a lot of people would say, is my taxes going up this year? That's kind of a loaded question because it does vary on all of these areas. So something to keep in mind, and something that I always got to think about too when looking at this tax bill is something that's out of your hands. The only thing you can have control on, and that's at the discretion of council, and that's what the city's working on. Is that correct, Misty?
Yep, it's just that city portion. So if people want to see how their bill from last year to this year compares, that's that far right column, that percent tax change. So you can see for this particular bill, there went down for Dane County, City of Fitchburg, and Madison, but their Oregon School District piece went up. So it all relates that way.
Fantastic. Moving down to 7 and 8.
Yeah, I included this bill in particular because I thought this would be a great chance to talk about the lottery credit. So we've had a lot of new homes being constructed in Fitchburg, and the lottery credit is applied to any property that is a primary residence as of the first of the year. So if you lived in your home or the previous owners lived in your home as of January 1st, 2020, you want to make sure that you have that lottery credit. So on this bill, it actually is not on there. That's that box 8. So you'll see it's just blank. So this person, if this is their primary residence, what they need to do is fill out a form to let us know that they are eligible for the lottery credit. And we can actually put it on their bill right away if they do it with us. If somebody misses that and they realize it in the summer that they didn't have a lottery credit, they would fill out a form and file that with the state. And then they'd get their money reimbursed from the state. But make sure people are checking that. You'd be surprised how many lottery credits are missed. And we try to help watch for that too and point it out when we can. But it's good for everyone to know to look for that. It's about $200.
And I was going to say, Misty, can you fill that out you said fill that out right on site if you are paying your tax. And of course, that changes this year. We'll talk about that, but you can fill that out right away when you do pay your taxes, correct?
Yep, the form is available on the city's website as well as the state's website. We have a link to it right on the tax page. Fill out that form. It's a really simple one. You fill out your information, check a box saying that it was your primary residence, and certify that. And we take care of applying that credit to the bill.
All right, jumping down to number 9 box here on the net property tax.
Yeah, so that is the amount of the taxes that are the responsibility of this owner. So again, we would take that assessed value, divide it by 1,000, and multiply it by the tax rate in order to get the tax responsibility.
Now it looks like we're talking about making those payments. So the full payment in box number 10 there is due before January 31st, and then 11 due on or before January 3rd. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so property owners have a couple of different options. You could pay your bill in full, and a lot of property owners do that. If you do, just make that payment to the city of Fitchburg, and we will get that processed. A lot of properties are also eligible for installments, which means you pay a piece of it by January 31st to the city, and then the second piece of it would go actually to Dane County instead. So the city collects payments through January 31st. After that point, everything gets turned over to Dane County.
Understandable. And moving down here then to number 12, you've got the taxing jurisdiction, again, something to look for, because this is going to differ on everybody's bills.
Yeah, I really like this section that they added a few years back to the tax bill. What this is it for any voter-approved referendum that is non-recurring. It lists that referendum on there, how much in total is collected, but then it also lists how much of this property tax bill goes to pay for that referendum. So you can see this bill, they were responsible for $219 of that referendum that was approved recently in the Oregon School District. And then it also lists what year that increase ends, which is helpful for your tax planning purposes. Thing to keep in mind, though, is that these are only non-recurring referendums. So there have been school districts that have approved increases ongoing. Those would not be listed here. These ones here are more so for the buildings or the new schools at some point in the future.
All right. And finally, as we drop down to box number 13, and so important, folks, that you do make the change on this one. If it does change, what do we got?
Yeah, so if you have a change in your actual property address, that has to go through the county register of deeds if there was an error. But if your billing address changed and you want us to send your bill to a different place, there's a couple ways you can let us know. You can email us and we can make that change. Or if you check this box here, you can fill in the form and let us know, and we will make sure to update our records so that your bill will go to a different address going forward.
Absolutely. Misty, an annual tradition here on Talking Fitchburg. We appreciate you breaking it down. We also have a separate interview going through kind of the frequently asked questions. And I do want to get it on here, Misty. This year, you are taking appointments. So just quickly on the COVID-19 component of this, what are residents able to do this year for making those payments?
Okay, so we still encourage people to use the drop box, use mail, just as we have every other years. So the drop box is located in the foyer of the city hall. You can just drop it there, same place as you would have dropped off a ballot. But in-person appointments, we used to take walk-ups. This year we are moving to an appointment process. So people can either call and make an appointment. You could also schedule your appointment online. And then it's a way for us to space people out, make sure that we have a limited number of people congregated in that area at one time.
All right, there you go. Well, like I said, break it down on a different interview, but I want to make sure we tack that on there. Misty, always a pleasure having you on the show. And if anybody's got any questions, they can, I bet, contact what department?
The finance department, yes.
All right. I've got that number on speed dial, folks. So after I'm off, you can get contact. Like I said, we'll check in with Misty again on breakdown of taxes. For now, take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready?
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Finance Department is your Finance Director, Misty Dodge. Misty, welcome back to the show. There's only a couple of times that you come on to this show, and when you do, it's usually taxes.
And a lot of numbers.
Always a lot of numbers. You are famous on our government channel, but that's a different story. We're going to talk today about taxes, frequently asked questions, show you where the new online appointment setup is, and make sure we answer some of those questions you may be having on property taxes. Misty, we've got the nice insert here. Tell us about this insert overall and how you can get a copy of this if you didn't get one.
Yeah, so the insert is included in each one of the property tax bills, but it's also available on the city's website. So it's just a way to get some frequently asked questions answered. I also like the right-hand side of the first page. It's got those fast facts. It's interesting to see how the city has been changing. It talks about the number of parcels we have, our total values, our tax rates, that type of thing. It's just some interesting statistics. The more useful information, though, is about how to make your payment. So it includes information about, writing checks if you have that, using the Dropbox, all of that.
Well, since you jumped right into that, let's break down the different ways. So first one that I'm sure a lot of people do have in place is the escrow checks. What are residents responsible for on that front?
Yeah, so some escrow checks are sent straight to the city, in which case we will process them. A lot of escrow checks, though, are sent to the property owners. So if it is sent to the property owner, you need to get that to us. Also watch, though, and see if it's made out to both the city and the property owner. And if it is, you have to make sure that you endorse the back of the check before you give it to us so that we can apply it to the payment appropriately.
That's good to know. I've never checked that, although it's never come to me for my personal one, but good to know. As far as making checks and paying for that, you've got the breakdown here.
Yeah, so we accept checks like normal. A couple of changes this year is we still encourage the use of the Dropbox, which is in the foyer of City Hall, same place where you would have dropped off your ballot a couple months ago when we were doing the elections. That is open 24/7. So 24 hours a day, you can walk in between the two double doors, put your payment in there, and we will make sure that it's applied appropriately.
Yeah, that's very important. And as we get down here to the online payment, something that I think a lot of people are going to be looking at, Misty, and I just totally jumped the gun here on that. There we go. There is a fee if you do make an online payment, and if you want to point that out.
There is. So if you use a credit card, there's a 2 to 3% fee. They will let you know what that amount is before you actually click the confirm button, so you can make your decision on whether or not the fee is worth it for you. You can also pay by electronic check, which is only $1 if it comes out. The nice thing about that system is that you get a receipt right away, so you don't have to wait for them to be uploaded to Access Day in February.
Yeah, that's really good to know. And I'm going to switch over here now for the appointments this year. Why are we taking appointments for coming in and paying taxes?
Yeah, COVID-19 has changed a lot of things around these days, and tax collection is the same. So City Hall has been closed. It's available by appointment only. We've actually moved our tax collection operation from the main counter at City Hall over to a room in the community. And the other thing that we're doing is we're doing appointments so that we can try to spread people out a little bit more, make sure that we don't have a lot of people congregating in the enclosed space. And then it's set up for great one-way traffic, really organized, trying to keep both our staff safe and healthy, but also the taxpayers.
Absolutely. And up here on the website under the tax and credit information, right here is where you would book that appointment. That opens up this window here. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so we can make appointments now. The tax bills haven't been mailed yet. They're mailed soon, but you can make appointments as soon as today. There are 3 appointments every 15 minutes, and appointments are available through the end of January, which is when the city stops collecting payments. So you simply pick which day it is that you want to come in, pick your time, and then add your contact information so that we can get a hold of you if you needed. And then we also included a special request option. So if you have a lottery credit that you need to apply or some other questions, if you put that note in there, we can make sure that we're prepared to help you with that when you come in.
Yeah, that's really important stuff there as we go through that. Fast facts from this year, I wanted to go back into that and point that out. I think that is a nice piece to break down. A reminder that if your taxes went up, it doesn't always mean that it was the city's portion. It could have been different factors. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the city collects about a third of the tax bill is actually for city government purposes. And those amounts that we have to collect are set by the budgets of each one of the individual or overlying jurisdictions. So the city set our budget in November, school district, county, MATC all did the same. And then using that budget information, that tells us how much money we need to collect on these tax bills.
And applying that lottery credit as a reminder, especially what you had talked about when we looked at the tax bill, there's a lot of new homeowners this year getting into their homes. What's that lottery tax about?
Yeah, so it's about $200 per property. It varies by school district, but it's right in that $200 range. And it's eligible for a property that was a primary residence as of the first of the year. So if your home was either your primary residence or a prior owner's primary residence as of January 1st, 2020, check and make sure that that lottery credit is on your tax bill. And if it's not, there's a really simple form that you can download from the city's website, fill out, and we will get that $200-ish creded applied to your bill right away.
Yeah, that's really important stuff to know. It's a nice little piece there to take off of the sales tax tax bill. Sales tax. Don't listen to me. That's why I'm not in finance. Misty, as we wrap up here on the interview, is there any other information that you want to get out there? And finally, where can people go to find out more information on any of the stuff we talked about today?
And the city's website is probably the best place to get information. Go to the finance department's page, then there's a tax and information subsection. That's the tax insert, the downloadable lottery credit form, the link to book those appointments. There's a lot of great information out there, as well as things like the city's budget and annual audit reports. So you can learn more about why the city is collecting the money that we are and how we're using that money to fund our operations.
Yeah, it's good information. There's a lot of number talk happening in the meeting. So this, for a guy like me who's trying to learn all this stuff, it works out really good. Misty, thank you so much for breaking down the information. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next year.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. Misty Dodge, your finance director, said give the finance department a call if you got any questions, and you have through January 31st to make those right here to the city of Fitchburg. All right, take a quick break. More to come. Watching TF.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for the day, I want to thank Misty Dodge, our finance director at the city of Fitchburg, for her and her staff on all the great work they're doing, have done all this year, and through the tax season. Again, the website, fitchburgwi.gov for more information. As we wrap up here, stay connected with Fact TV. There it is. Facebook, YouTube, Apple TV, Roku. Got you covered.